call this November 4th City of Monmouth Council meeting to order. If you'll please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could have a roll call for attendance, please.
Alderman Grant.
Present.
Alderman Vaughn.
Here.
Alderwoman Toomey. Here. Alderman John.
Here.
Alderman Connor.
Here.
Alderman Pinero.
Present.
Alderman Van Lee.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of the minutes from October 21st. I would entertain a motion for their approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any amendments or corrections to those minutes as presented? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Grant.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Toomey.
Oh, we lost her. Oh, she's coming back.
Toomey. John.
House.
Connor.
Yes.
Pinero.
Yes.
Van Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. Under presentations or citizen inquiries, do we have anyone here who wishes to address council? Please step to the podium, state your name, and make your request.
Good evening. My name is Howard Moffett. I live at 910 East Euclid Avenue, and I'm here tonight to request a change to the signage of the parking restrictions on East Euclid Avenue. According to Ordinance 12-024, the south side of East Euclid should be no parking 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., but there are signs indicating no parking at any time. And so my request is to have the signs conform to the ordinance. I'll just add there are yellow curb markings around the gates into the field, at the sidewalk to the empty residence, and near the corner. They're already marked yellow.
Okay, we'll look into that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address council? Hearing none, we'll move on. Next is recognition of Lieutenant Joe Bratcher's Beyond the Badge Award. Chief?
Yes. Joe, you want to stand up? Sure. And I'm going to read from the press release they put out. On October 10th of this year, Lieutenant Bratcher received the WQAD Beyond the Badge Award for 2024. There was only 2 officers within the WQAD viewing area that received the award, Lieutenant Bratcher and a Quad City police officer. Lieutenant Bratcher was nominated by a member of the community. The award focuses on how the officers are making a difference in the community through their position within the police department, how the officers are promoting the partnership between the police department and the community in preventing or solving crimes, and how the officer is promoting trust and respect between themselves and the public, and how the officer is making a difference in their community while off duty. Lieutenant Bratcher is heavily involved in the training of staff and students in Monmouth Roseville School District on active threats and events within the schools, as well as giving safety talks to grade school-age children on Halloween safety and stranger danger. Lieutenant Bratcher has also trained churches and businesses within our community on active threats, and Lieutenant Bratcher has been a police officer for the City of Monmouth for 26 years and is currently the patrol commander for the department. And I'm not sure if everybody's had a chance to view the segment. They did air the segment at the end of October on Channel 8. And the award is an honor. It's an honor given by WQAD in the memory of the late Detective Rick Rickingham, who retired from the Moline Police Department and was the Quad City Area Crime Stoppers Coordinator. So it's it's a good award, and it was given to one of our officers. And I just wanted to publicly recognize him for that. So.
I'm going to say some thank yous real quick if I can. First, I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. As I've always said, I've always championed the idea that as Christians, we always should be mirrors that reflect love and and grace of Jesus Christ in our communities. And that's what I was espoused to, and it's very humbling to receive that award. Next, I would just like to thank my family, my kids, Logan, Lindsay, and Lauren, and my wife, Renee. They've put up with me for 26 years being a police officer, so sometimes that's not a glorious job, working third shift for 10 years. And then I'd like to thank Chief Schweitzer. He's been my boss all 26 years at the police department, whether he was a patrol sergeant and I was a patrolman, he was a lieutenant or deputy chief and I was sergeant. He's allowed me to do these programs. He's never questioned them. Been doing them for 15 years, and he's always been behind me 100% to help get in schools and help the community. And I'd like to thank the city for giving me a job, 26 years ago, and a paycheck for every 2 weeks. That's awesome. And thank the community as a whole, is where I grew up and was raised a family in, and the school districts for allowing me to come in there, being open-minded to the training, being welcoming to the training, and changing things as we go along. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with our school districts, United and Monmouth. The amount of money they've spent on school security is astounding. And I've said this over and over, and I'll put our policies, procedures, equipment, training against any school district in the state, because it's been a team effort from everybody involved. And thanks to Elaine for nominating me. I found out she was the Secret Santa, so to speak, that nominated me, and I appreciate it, and it's very humbling to get this award. So, thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you, Lieutenant, for your service.
Hey, Bratcher, I'd like to say something real quick to you, because a lot of people, I don't know, he's talked about school districts here that we have, United, but he also comes to ICS. I've seen him there a few times reading to the kids and things like that, and I know they really enjoy that when he comes in, and he's done some things there too. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Moving on our agenda, I have two proclamations this evening. The first one is for Veterans Day on November 11th, 2024. Throughout the history of our nation, our servicemen and women risked their lives to protect the interests of our country and defend our freedoms. And citizens throughout the city of Monmouth in the United States live in freedom because of the contributions and sacrifices made by those who have served and those who continue to serve. And these sacrifices are also made by the family members who support the men and women who preserve the liberties that enrich both this nation and the city of Monmouth. And on this Veterans Day, the citizens of Monmouth remember that we are forever indebted to the service members who have fought and died in defense of our country. And as we reflect upon the enormous contributions made to our city as well as our nation by our fallen heroes, we also pay tribute to the new generation who have chosen to serve in the United States Armed Forces and remain committed to sustaining this legacy of unyielding patriotism. Now, I, Rod Davies, Mayor of the City of Monmouth, do hereby recognize November 11, 2024 as Veterans Day in the City of Monmouth, and ask our citizens to join me in observance of Veterans Day 2024. Chief, if I could maybe present this to you.
Sure.
We'll have this out in the City Hall be presented. Since you served over here, since you served in Iraq and Operation Enduring Peace or with Freedom?
Operation Iraqi.
Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
We also have this evening the proclamation for the American Association of University Women, the Monmouth area branch. They're celebrating their centennial celebration week from November 4th to November 9th, 2024. And whereas members of the AAUW have worked throughout the years to advance equity for women and girls through advocacy, education, philanthropy, and research, and the Monmouth area branch of the AAUW was founded by a group of educated women, among whom were Monmouth College faculty members, including the Dean of Women, who was also an instructor of Latin and English and instructors of German and French. And the local AAUW Art Presenter Program, bringing monthly art programs to area classrooms, was founded by and sponsored by for 40 years, from 1973 to 2013, by AAUW Monmouth area branch, after which it has continued as an integral and permanent part of the Buchanan Center for the Arts Programming. And the AAUW Monmouth area branch sponsors the Best of Show Award at the Buchanan Center for the Arts in the annual Town and Country Show at Buchanan Center for Student Art Submissions. And the AAUW Monmouth area branch has sponsored through the years for Women's History Month in March, the annual AAUW Women in History Essay contest for all Warren County sixth graders to highlight the influence of extraordinary women. And the AAUW Monmouth area branch has, through the years, worked on projects to help build harassment-free hallways in schools, awarded scholarships, hosted candidate forums, worked with voter registration, and hosted workshops to help graduating college women negotiate their first salaries. Now, therefore, I, Rod Davies, the mayor of the city of Monmouth, do hereby proclaim November 4th through the 9th, 2024, as the AAUW Monmouth area branch Centennial Celebration Week, and urge all residents to join in commemorating this momentous occasion, celebrating a century of service, advocacy, and empowerment. Through continued collaboration with businesses, schools, Monmouth College, and the city of Monmouth, may we continue to uphold AAUW's noble mission and work timelessly towards a future where every woman and girl can thrive and reach their fullest potential. Thank you. I'm going to make a presentation. Oh, thank you.
Quite a few words there.
Yeah. We'll do this presentation. We'll also have it at City Hall for the month.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and I would just like to reiterate the fact that our AAUW branch is so thankful to the cooperation and the collegiality of the city of Monmouth, as well as the city of Macomb and also Galesburg, Knox College, and so forth. But also the businesses here and the schools, all the school systems in the area, including Immaculate Conception. And it's just been a terrific cooperative effort that we have worked on.
Good.
So thank you to all. And you may have children and grandchildren who've been a part of some of the art presenter programs and so forth.
Yeah, my mother was an art presenter for the
Oh my
AAUW
gosh.
presenter for many, many years. So
Well, gosh darn,
Thank you.
that's terrific.
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
and God bless you as a retired Presbyterian pastor.
Thank
So,
you. So moving on our agenda, we have one item on the consent agenda, and that's approval of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any items to be removed for further discussion or consideration? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Toomey? Toomey?
She just popped back on.
Dawn,
Yes.
Connor,
Yeah.
Pinero.
Yes.
Bedford,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Under committee of the whole, the first item is the centerpiece option proposed for public square fountains. Sure. You may recall back on August 5th, Sarah Walters had presented initially the concept of a new centerpiece sculpture or statue, metal circular statue with Monmouth across the top and the Maple City underneath with a rotating maple leaf in between. And that proposal was to replace the fountain and convert the pool area into a flower bed and put the new metal statue inside the center of the pool, which is in the center of the circle of the public square. Following that, in late August, I did a straw poll of council members, and it appeared that the majority of the council were either in favor of considering this concept or at least not opposed to it. And then on September 16th, Sarah had come back to the council and was looking for some direction. And based on the comments, there was some desire to have her approach the Rotary Club because the original pool and original fountain actually came through the Rotary Club, and I believe she has done that. And in fact, the city has received a letter from a representative of Rotary indicating to us that the board of Rotary has not taken any official position for or against the proposal that Sarah had presented to us. And so tonight, I think that Sarah is looking for formal direction from the city council. There's a fundraising effort that needs to be undertaken, and getting estimates on the cost, as well as not just manufacturing the centerpiece statue, but also obviously the cost of installing the centerpiece in the pool and converting it from a pool to a flower bed and that type of thing. So in order to get that process started, she has asked the city to give some formal direction on whether to proceed or not to proceed with the fundraising. I hope I'm not putting too many words in your mouth, Sarah. If you'd like to address the council directly, you're certainly welcome to.
If there are any questions, still, I would be happy to answer questions. I did meet with Rotary. They were a little confused because it really isn't theirs. So they said, well, how do we have a say in this? And I said, well, I don't know. That was just brought to my attention. So they were appreciative of the information and are actually considering, once we figure out if this is a go, probably being hopefully one of our donors to the program. So, or to the idea. So does anyone have any questions that I haven't yet answered?
I'm for it. I think it's a great idea because I mean we're redoing everything else around the square, but we're not really doing anything with the center. So I mean, to me, that's a great opportunity for something new to go with all the other new. And
I don't know if any of you have ever been to Pella, Iowa, but recently they actually have something very similar to what I'm proposing in their center square, and it's really cool. It's more of a globe type of an atlas type of but it's a metal structure. It's in a pool, exactly like what we have, with flowers at the base, exactly like I'm proposing. The only difference here would be that it would be the maple leaf representing the Maple City. So.
Any other comments?
I'll be in favor of it too, of the new centerpiece.
I think you put in a lot of hard work. We really appreciate it. To come forward and try to make it a little more beautiful, I'm all for it. I was before and just wanted to give the Rotary a chance, and obviously somebody cared, but they really don't care, I guess. So
There was just misunderstanding. They thought there were bricks that were surrounding that some of their members had donated a brick and had their name put on that. But most of those bricks are actually in the kiosks and things around the square. So it is my goal then to approach the city and make sure that those bricks are repurposed some way, somehow in this project, maybe even in Market Alley, so that those people that did give the donations and had those bricks named such would still continue. But that was forthcoming after. Gotta get past one to get to the next.
So do we have a motion then to direct Sarah to move forward with their efforts for fundraising and further development of the project?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, second. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none. I found the power Iowa thing. No.
Oh, hey, thanks, Marco. It's cool, isn't it? It's pretty much exactly what I'm proposing if you want to pass your phone around. Shows them the flowers. Well,
I don't trust anybody here.
don't swipe.
So we have a motion and a second. And any other questions or discussion?
The motion includes taking the fountain out.
The fountain stay, if you look at this, the base stays and then the middle part.
But we just won't have a fountain.
The fountain will be gone.
The fountain will be,
part of
the fountain will be gone, and the sculpture that was presented,
That's
at the
fine.
first.
It has I don't know if you were here that evening, sir, but it has a maple leaf in the center with a circle around that will say Monmouth, the Maple City, that will be illuminated at night. And the leaf on the center will slowly be on a motorized wheel that will, make it spin. So it'll be much like what you're seeing here, but instead of that, it would be a maple leaf and welcome people to the Maple City.
Sarah also did note at the first meeting that the cost of manufacturing the centerpiece as well as its installation, lighting, and what have you would be at no cost to the city.
I'm going to fundraise. The bid given to me is $30,000. So my goal is to reach out to civic organizations and community foundations in the area, along with area businesses and just citizens. I've had actually several citizens reach out to me that are excited about the idea and said that they'd love to help if it got to that point. So I feel fairly confident that I can raise the funds, hopefully. And if I can't, then it won't happen, I guess. We'll just have the fountain there. But my goal is to raise the funds.
I'm just a little conflicted about getting rid of the fountain. That's just where I'm at.
Sure. Any other point, discussion?
I don't have real strong feelings either way, but as we got people here that are willing to put the work in to get it done. That's great.
So could I have a roll call, please?
Toomey? Yes. Dawn?
Yes.
Connor?
Yes.
Canado?
Yes.
Benzie?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Bone?
No.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda, we have a request from Andrea Monroe as Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce. Andrea, if you would please step to the podium. They're requesting that we have a kiosk that sits presently on North Main be placed in the square, Central Park, for Christmas on the Square as a Santa house.
Yes, hello. So we have been given or donated the Tin Cup Express building, and we have thought about putting that on the square as a fixture for Christmas on the Square, where we can put Santa in there and kind of bring Christmas on the Square back to the square. So Santa would be in the middle, and then all the festivities around it. Obviously, we would need time to move it and secure it and paint it and all the things. So we are just coming for approval of how soon or if we can even do that.
You want to leave us there all the time? Or just
Oh gosh, no, yeah, no, just during Christmas on the square.
I got you.
So the art museum said that they would paint it for us. So they said the sooner the better they could get it there. Like if they could the week of the 11th or 18th, just so we can get it there properly attached. So all is good. We're talking about a trailer or something to secure it. And then we'll paint it, decorate it, and then Christmas on the Square is the first Friday, and then that would be there for the event. It's up to you guys if you would like it to stay throughout the rest of Christmas, or if you want us to remove it after, we can absolutely do that.
Hey, Chief, what do you, with all that construction, we don't have very many crosswalks or anything really on the square right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see on that as far as?
For Christmas on the Square as a whole?
Is it, well, just, I mean, I guess just for the rest of, I guess my only concern is just having something sitting there that's attractive to kids in the middle of the square when we don't have crosswalks and stuff currently with the construction. I don't know if we would put something up or if that's something that's going to attract people to just cross that street and I don't want anybody to get hit. I mean, it sounds like a neat idea.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are still designated areas where people can cross over because 3/4 of the area of the square is still not under construction yet, and I think there would still be plenty of safe places for someone to cross the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't the square blocked off from cars driving through there anyway?
At night.
For the Christmas event.
For the Christmas event, yeah.
I think his concern is more if we were to leave it there for the Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
I think, which
that's
kids or someone might want to go take pictures in front of it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we may want it out there reasonably after.
I guess that would be my only thought. It's just it seems like an attractive thing. My kid would enjoy it. And use the kid to run out in the middle of the square and see it. I don't want to be a downer.
We had the same thought though. We really did because I was like, oh, well, in the past they had the mailbox where kids can go and drop off, letters for Santa. And so we had the same thought. It's probably not a good idea. We don't want to encourage people going across there that much, but.
I certainly don't have any problem for the event.
Yeah.
I mean, at all. I wonder about leaving it there all winter or during the whole Christmas season. I mean, it's a shame to have it there just for one night, but then I'm concerned about the traffic too. That would be my only comment.
we have another city council meeting 10 days after the event. I suppose if we think it's a problem, we can vote to remove it at that point.
Sure.
And Adrian, what was your proposed date to get it there?
The sooner the better is what I was requested just by the Buchanan Art Center, so they have time to paint it based upon weather. But if it could be by next week or the week of the 18th.
And then it will stay until
the 6th, at least, when the event is.
Another day that we set.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to try to, like I said, put it on a trailer so it's easily to move back and,
I was going to say, if they're putting it on a trailer, can't they have it somewhere else so they can paint it and get it ready? So it's not put there until it's closer to the event?
We definitely can. Again, I think they were just thinking more of decoration for downtown also.
Because you're probably going to leave it on the trailer.
Yes.
While it's in the square.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's mobile, so it doesn't have to be there to be painted and done up.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe look for options to paint it somewhere else and then put it on the square like that first week, the week leading up to or something, and then,
Whatever
I
you
don't
guys
think it
want,
should-
we'll do.
It would be very hard to get it secured and put in place once it's all done and set up and decorated, and then just roll it in, put in, done, and then it can be moved when it needs to be moved.
Okay, so any other questions or comments? So I'd entertain a motion for approval of placing the Santa House in Central Park for the week of the Christmas on the Square event, or thereabouts.
Thereabouts.
Sure, I'll make that
Very
motion.
technical. All right, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Couple of seconds, okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Dahl,
Yes.
Connor,
Yeah.
Benito,
Yes.
Heffley,
Yes.
Grant,
Yes.
Cone,
Yes.
Toomey. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next, we have our Building and Zoning October report, Director Clark.
Mayor, Council, good evening. Zoning Department continues to issue building permits, notices for ordinance violations to include mowing, junk and debris, unsafe structures, issue citations, and complete rental and solar inspections, as well as plan reviews on them. Below is the number of the junk and debris that have went out, pending notices, fines issued year to date, and then inspections that were completed and corrections that were made and needed. Zoning Board of Appeals had an application submitted by Two Brothers Properties, otherwise known as 617 South D Street, requesting a setback variance to build an addition onto an existing warehouse building located on the corner of West 6th and South B Street. The Zoning Board of Appeals is an advisory board to the City Council and will meet November 13th at 5:30 p.m. for review and then recommendation to present to Council on the November 18th meeting for the first reading. Open projects, Beck Oil Company, new convenience store structure and infrastructure is completed as construction continues with interior walls and partitions. The underground tanks and footings for canopies both at the store location and the diesel island have been completed, and the parking lot grading and construction continues. Jimmy John's, all building construction, electrical inspections, heat up requests to Ameren and plumbing rough in is complete and fixtures set, with grade started for parking area and alleyway. As of this last week, they did get the rest of the parking lot blacktop. Their target date is the 13th, which is next Wednesday. And then the completed project, Immaculate Conception School Gymnasium, final inspection was completed by the chief of the fire department, and a certificate of occupancy was issued by the building official. Any questions?
Did you say for Jimmy John's next Tuesday for opening?
When their target date is the 13th.
Okay.
That is the target date. Normally, I heard some time ago that they like to open their stores on Wednesdays. So if it doesn't.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you, John. Yeah. Next, we have the Water and Current September report, Director Bledsoe.
Good evening, everybody. September report, if you guys want to look through your packets at any time, has a bunch of information on our training, our gallons of water produced, and our wastewater treated. But I really want to talk to you guys about where we're at in our capital projects and all the construction you've seen around town. So our West Harlem Water Main Phase 2 project is fully underway now, with Advanced Plumbing working on this project. They're expecting this to be done by the end of the month completely. If you've driven through there, traffic interruptions really aren't too bad, so I think they're doing pretty good so far. If you have any concerns on that, please feel free to reach out to me or stop and yell at Zach Johnson. I'm sure he's done all of that. So out here on the square, they're still in the northeast quadrant, but we're hoping by the end of the month they should be moving to the northwest. It seems like the date kind of shuffles around quite a bit. I think they've had some issues, but as we go forward, I'm hoping we see some progress and get some major work done out there. Our UV disinfection out at the wastewater plant, which the last time I was up here, I'd offered that if anybody was interested to let me know and we could go through a tour at the wastewater plant. And I have respectfully gotten 0 exceptions to that invite, which I don't really blame you guys. So, but yeah, that's all up and running out there, and staff's been trained on it. It's working pretty well. It's going to do its goal, and we should have no issues with that going forward. Our lead service line replacement program, which is starting to kind of ramp up in terms of the work we're doing and how serious we're getting to be beginning this work. Our phase 1 is set to actually have opening of bids this month on the 24th. That's out to bid right now. That project we can expect to start sometime next year. And with that one, we're expecting roughly 275 to 300 lead service line addresses to be replaced. So pretty substantial number. Be a lot of work going in to the town, and that's just phase one. We could see up to 15 or 16 phases. All that work for the lead service lines, I think we have roughly, 275 times 16. We have quite a few lead service lines to replace, but we have roughly 10 years to replace all these lines here in town. And just as an example, it's going to take us 1 year to do 1/16, maybe an eighth of them. So we have a lot of work to go, but we're going to make some progress on it. Another thing I better mention when it comes to our lead service lines, and I think I spoke about this last time I was up here, we are getting some assistance from the federal EPA when it comes to identifying and community outreach and planning for our lead service line replacement. And on December 2nd to January 17th, we will have a local contractor. I don't know who's going to win the bid, but the federal EPA is funding a potholing program here in town. They're doing, I think it was roughly $200,000 to $300,000 worth. They wouldn't tell me exactly what their budget was, but they're putting a pretty decent chunk of money into our town, where they're going to be going around in the southwest corner, which is phase 2 of our lead service line replacement. If you guys looked at the map or not, I can send you a map if you ever need one. But basically, the southwest corner of town, a pretty large chunk of it, between December 2nd and January 17th, the federal EPA is going to be sponsoring a local contractor to go around, suck up holes in the right-of-way, and figure out what people's service lines are made out of. This basically is going to help us identify, is house 123, does it have a lead service line? Do we need to prepare to fund to replace that later? Is it already made of copper, plastic? Is it good to skip over? So just as a heads up, if you end up seeing that here in the next month or so. Another thing to keep in mind, next week, between the 12th and the 14th, the EPA will be back with a team of, they tell me 4 to 8 people. We'll see how many people show up. Last time we had, I think, 6 or 7. They'll be going around town, door to door, knocking, and if people are home, asking to enter the home, and they will go and identify your service line in your basement, and we'll use that for the same purpose as when we pothole in the front yard. If we know for sure you have a lead line, then we can plan on funding for that, and it just kind of helps us get an idea of what's going on. So if you see that, that's another thing that's going on. One thing that I do want to bring up that Joe McVeigh from our street department thought was very important for me to let you guys know is they've started sucking up leaves on the public right-of-way our street department has, and the new leaf machine is working really well. It's a lot more user-friendly. If you guys ever want to see a picture of it, maybe I can include it in the report, but it's pretty awesome. I've seen it run myself. It's kind of unreal. I think I want to start a business with one because it looks like it's so easy. This guy gets to sit on the back of the machine and he runs the arm. I mean, it's awesome. I'll have to show you guys sometime. It's amazing. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, please let me know, and we can go from there.
So the square project, so this quadrant that they've been on for this, I mean, has there been some unexpected, do we have any insight as to what's going on? Because it feels like it's taken longer than they thought.
I think it is. I think it's July 15th, and maybe the mayor or Rod or Luke can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think July 15th is when they're supposed to be done with the project next year. So July 15th, 2025. Obviously, the progress has not been what it should be. They have had quite a few issues out there, but I don't think that's completely excused the progress that we've seen.
Are they telling you what the issues are?
I imagine they're internal to the company. We have put some extra work on them. There was a couple manholes we had to have replaced, but in my opinion, the extra work we've put on them and the interruptions that I have seen personally does not necessarily account for how far behind we are. I'm hoping
that's a long ways for a couple of manholes.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we can pull it together and we'll see something miraculous, but I don't work for the company, I don't know. So
they are moving forward. There was a lot of underground that was a little bit unforeseen. Some of the time they've had to build the forms for this quadrant, which they will reuse in the other quadrants. We had a lot more handicap accessibilities. We only have one in the next quadrant and then none in the third, and there'll be some more in the fourth quadrant. So they are moving forward.
Yeah.
And there's been some extra time with building forms and doing some things that, again, will be reused. So they are moving forward. We'll progress.
The lead service lines, like by the time I checked mine, I lost the postcard. Is there an easy way to get that? Is that information out, and where is it easily to get to for people that want to submit this stuff?
You can call City Hall.
Okay.
You can feel free to call City Hall. You might get me on the phone, might get one of the girls at our billing counter, but we can take that information. We do have on our plans to send out letters asking people to self-identify. That's a part of that GLOW program from the federal EPA. So you should see a lot more correspondence from us, especially as we go forward with construction. So, and if you guys do get online and you look at, I don't know what mine is, or I don't see when mine's going to be replaced, feel free to call and I can tell you what phase you're in, and that can kind of give you a rough idea of, how many years out you're going to be before your line may or may not get replaced. So.
All right,
Well,
any
thank
other
you.
questions? All right, thank you. Moving on in our agenda, we have our commercial building rehabilitation application for 112 South First Street. Lou?
Yes, Scott McClintock had purchased the building previously owned by Josh Smith at 112 South First Street, and he is beginning some rehabilitation work. He has applied for a downtown commercial building rehab reimbursement grants in the amount of $30,000 of total cost. He's got some repairs to do on the roof that he has a quote of $5,500, and some tuck pointing of the brick on some of the walls, and that is at a cost of $2,200. Total cost of the application is $7,700. 30% of that would be $2,310, and I would recommend approval. Subsequent to the work being completed and inspected and approved by the city, submittal of the final invoice and submittal of proof of purchase, which is our three basic requirements. So I would ask for council's.
That's just for reference. That's the old life insurance.
No, that's the old
restaurant.
Bistro.
Oh, Bistro.
Bistro.
That's First, not West First. Gotcha.
No, South First Street.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
He has his mailing address on here, 212 South Main. I assume that's
his office.
Oh, that's his office. Okay.
If you, on the application.
South Main for society.
If you look, if you look further down in that closing paragraph, you'll see the reference to 112 South First Street.
Yep.
So I would entertain a motion for approval of the commercial building rehab application.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And I have a second. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Connors?
Yes.
Canado?
Yes.
Update?
Yes.
Grant?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Toomey? Dawn?
Yes.
Motion.
Thank you. Under ordinances, we have a first reading for an amendment to an ordinance for last year. Markham,
So on the amendment, the lot, I had lot 1 or 18, and it should have been 16, I believe. That was 16 and it was 18.
It should be 18.
Yeah, I
that
put
was
16.
for the McEwen Court
Right,
vacation.
yeah, that's why I got these 2 glasses, because I can't see very well. That was my mistake, and this is just correcting that.
Okay, so it's a housekeeping matter,
Right.
get the correct number on the vacation.
Yeah, it's down at Warfield Park, that's where they put the soccer field.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion for approval of that amendment to the ordinance 23-029 for the property number correction. Now I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Van Halen.
Yes.
Bentley.
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Bone.
Yes.
Toomey. Toomey.
Ross.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Connor.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next two ordinances, Lou, is for the Beck Oil Development. I will have you speak to those, please.
Sure, yeah, they are related, they are part of the same project, the redevelopment of the Beck Oil property. Part of the terms in our agreement with Beck Oil was that the city would vacate Maple City Drive, and that's what the first ordinance is for the city to do that. And the second ordinance relates to a 2.23 acre parcel that they have, of land that they have bought on the north side of Maple City Drive, where the old antique building is located. That building has about 135 feet of frontage on the Highway 67, and it is 650 feet long. It goes back as far as the Maple City Drive right away goes, and that acreage will be used for the truck fueling station and the semi-truck parking lot back there on the north side. So the annexation obviously brings that property into the city and would then be incorporated. All of these parcels, along with their original parcel, would all be incorporated into a new tax increment financing district, and that's part of our agreement that it would be the type of agreement where it is only future revenues generated as a result of this project. Those funds would be used to provide them with a rebate for TIF eligible costs, which includes primarily the acquisition of the parcel, a 2.23 parcel on the north side of the Maple City Drive, as well as the demolition of the old convenience store and gas station. So would ask for council's approval on both of these ordinances so that we can proceed with creating the TIF district and moving that project forward.
I think that vacation of Maple City Drive was part of a requirement through IDOT to grant access to the property.
Yeah, actually, yes, it was, but it had also been previously agreed to in our negotiations prior to the construction phase.
I would entertain a motion for approval of both of those ordinances since they are related.
Second.
And a second. Any questions or other discussion on that? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Bentley.
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Bone.
Yes.
Dawn.
Yes.
Connor.
Yes.
Canales.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I would,
Yes, you did.
we don't have anything else on the agenda. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. We are adjourned.
She's taking care of our 101-year-old father, just so you know.